Hi, thanks for joining me for another prayerful pause in your day, a time to anchor yourself in something greater than yourself. And you'll remember that we are now in Tuesday of Holy Week, and so that this week I'm focusing on the events of the original Holy Week, what happened each day, and drawing heavily on the works of Borg and Crossan in their book, The Final Week, as well as the Gospel of Mark. There's a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump right in. I'll be looking down at different times because I want to make sure that I get the quotes accurate. First, I want to start with a reading from Mark 11, chapters 20 to 25. In the morning, as they passed by, this is Tuesday morning, they saw the fig tree withered away to its roots. Then Peter remembered and said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree that you cursed has withered. Jesus answered them, Have faith in God. Truly I tell you, if you say to this mountain, Be taken up and thrown into the sea, and if you do not doubt it in your heart, but believe that what you say will come to pass, it will be done for you. So I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Whenever you stand praying, forgive. If you have anything against anyone, so that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses. Here ends that reading. So Tuesday for Jesus was a very, very busy day. Mark's narrative of the day's events covers almost 3 chapters, a total of 115 verses, the most of any of the days, actually. About 2/3 of Tuesday consists of conflicts with temple authorities and their associates. We saw how this got set up on Monday, right? And the remaining third, which is chapter 13, warns of the destruction of Jerusalem that's going to come later. Some of these conflicts involved conflicts of authority. Jesus talked about the fig tree some more. This is where he covers the taxes paid to Caesar and a parable about the vineyard. But he was confronting authorities all of the time because of corruption. Then finally somebody asked him, well, what's the greatest of the commandments then? Because they thought that they would trip him up, right? And he said that to love God above all else means giving to God whatever belongs to God, our heart, our soul, and our mind, and our strength. These belong to God, not to Caesar, referring to that earlier episode. And this was very radical. In a way, it was radical monotheism. If God is Lord, then the lords of this world, Caesar and his incarnations throughout history, are not. And to love one's neighbor as oneself, that was the second part of what he said. Love God with all your heart, soul, and strength, heart, soul, mind, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. And this was really radical. To love one's neighbor as oneself means to refuse to accept the divisions rendered by the normalcy of civilization. Those divisions that people try to create, we don't accept them. We don't accept that there are marginalized people and then the non-marginalized. So Jesus's conflict with the temple authorities and their representatives kept growing and growing and growing. Now we often hear that it is said, like in Mark 11, 27 to 33, that Jesus enters the temple area. The authorities immediately question him about his authority. And Mark names 3 of the interrogators as the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes. Now, those first 2 groups, chief priests and elders, those are at the top of the local system of collaboration and domination, like we talked about yesterday. And the scribes were a literate class employed by them. So he's like covering all of those people together. And then the rest of the chapter is really spent talking about the destruction of the temple that will be coming. Now, does he mean the temple in terms of physical stature and its architecture and the stones? I think it's metaphor, although that does happen later in 70-ish AD or CE. But this, where he says that to love God above all else and to love your neighbor as yourself, I think that's what's going to destroy the corruption in the leadership of the religion. And then Borg and Crossan end the chapter by saying that Tuesday has been a long day. By now it's evening on the Mount of Olives. Darkness is coming, a darkness that will deepen as the week continues to unfold. And as darkness falls, Mark commends us. Be alert. Stay awake. and watch. Be alert, stay awake, and watch. I think that's where we are during this week, that authorities have told us that it will be the most destructive week in all of our country's history because of COVID-19. Be awake, stay alert, watch. Keep yourselves safe, wash your hands. If you have to go out, which I hope you don't, wear a face covering, wear a mask, all right? I'm Pastor Deb Swift with South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. You've been watching The Prayerful Pause with the Pastor. I hope to see you here again tomorrow. You can learn more about us online at www.southpc.org. That's South like the direction, and PC for PresbyterianChurch.org. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.